Next is Dick Vermeil. The distinguished career of Dick Vermeil is like no other. From his college ranks to the NFL and back, Dick Vermeil was an impactful coach and remains a master motivator. Dick was hired, as said by Tom, as one of the NFL's first special teams coaches with George Allen's Rams in 1969. Except for 1970, when Dick was an assistant coach with UCLA, he would remain with the Rams until 1974, when he was named head coach of UCLA. As head coach of UCLA, Dick compiled a 15-5-3 record in 2 seasons, including a 9-2-1 record in 1975, when he led the Bruins to their first conference championship in 10 years and a win in the Rose Bowl over the undefeated and #1 ranked Ohio State. He was inducted into the Rose Bowl Hall of Fame as a member of the class of 2014. Now, you know, Dick began his NFL head coaching career in 1976 with the Philadelphia Eagles. He was named the NFL's Coach of the Year in 1980 and led the Eagles to Super Bowl 15 after defeating the Dallas Cowboys for the NFC Championship. Dick returned to coaching with the St. Louis Rams in 1997, and he led the Rams to their first ever Super Bowl victory in Super Bowl 34 with Kurt Warner in a 23-16 win over the Tennessee Titans. He was also named NFL Coach of the Year for the second time in 1999, and after only 1 year in retirement, Coach Vermeil signed with the Kansas City Chiefs in January of 2001. In November of 2008, Dick was honored by the St. Louis Rams organization and placed in their Ring of Honor. Now, his legacy of turning programs around is evident by the fact that he is the only coach to have been named Coach of the Year at 4 of the highest levels: high school, junior college, NCAA Division I, and the NFL. Dick is only the second pure coach to be inducted into the Gridiron Greats Hall of Fame behind Marv Levy. Please welcome one of the all-time greats, the Gridiron Greats 2015 Hall of Fame, Mr. Dick Vermeil.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Player Mike Ditka, Coach Mike Ditka, Leader Mike Ditka, and your staff, Shannon, Mark, thank you very much for providing me this opportunity to share this wonderful experience with so many wonderful people. Coach Carol Vermeil, right there. You know, thank you. You know, when I find myself in positions, I recognize certain things. Number one, it's one thing to be recognized for an award. The other is to deserve it. And I find myself very humble when I hear these other people get up and talk about what they've done and what they did with their career and what they're doing with their lives and what they plan to do in the future. And it's humbling, and it's motivating. And I appreciate being put in with such a great group of people. You know, I learned a long time ago from a great coach named John Wooden when I was at UCLA. He one time said, "Dick, don't worry about winning. Just worry about making each player you have the best he could be. And usually it'll take care of himself." But what he also meant is help them be everything they could be on and off the field, which John Wooden did a great job. And Carol and I have tried to do that in our careers. Last Sunday night, Bill Berge, at 350 pounds, an all-pro linebacker, was at our house for dinner, along with Frank LeMaster, who just had his aorta replaced in his heart, has had his knee replaced, his hip replaced, and Berge's had both knees. It makes this evening even more important, and it opens my eyes to how many Berges and LeMasters there are that need our help. So I thank this organization for what they're doing. I thank this organization for putting me in a class of people that care about other people. You know, I always worked under the principles that players don't give a shit how much you know, as long as they know you care. You know, and if they know you care, they'll give you what they have. Tom Mack, God, I love the guy. You know, he carries a grudge. We're having a beer, and the first thing he does, he takes my left hand and puts it on his shoulder, and there's a big lump there, and he says, "You put that there." I didn't really, but Tom was so gifted as an offensive lineman, he was on all the special teams. But, you know, I allowed a passion for the game and compassion for those people that played it to overpower me. And I left the game for 14 years. I was embarrassed about it. But fortunately, people gave me an opportunity to come back when I grew up and found out how to put things together and keep your frame of mind going in the right direction, and came back and had the opportunity because of Georgia Frontier. And I'd had a friendship with her from having coached with Carol Rosenblum when he came to the Rams. So I appreciate that. And then I leave, and Lamar Hunt. There is no finer owner football guy than Lamar Hunt. Believe me, it was his heart in the right place. And for him to give me the opportunity to coach them was a great experience. So I thank you. I thank you. You know, I've been retired. My last game was January 1st, 2006. I go home. Now, I every once in a while I say to my wife, "Carol, who in the hell made their living coaching?" Because she coaches me all the time. But after 59 years, I'm not going to trade her in, I promise you. Okay? So, thank you very much. I appreciate being with you. David Hum. Hi, David. I flew in here one time as an assistant coach at UCLA to recruit him. Lost him to Nebraska. Okay? We recruited George Coons. Hi, George. To Stanford. We lost him to Notre Dame. I wasn't a very good recruiter. Okay? Thank you. I'm proud to be amongst your group.
And finally, Jim Covert, Jimbo. Jim Covert dominated defensive linemen in both college and the NFL. His domination made him the most feared and revered offensive lineman in the 80s. Jim entered the University of Pittsburgh as a defensive lineman in the spring of 1980. He switched to offensive left tackle, where he started for the next 3 seasons. An Outland Trophy candidate in 1982, Jim earned first-team All-American honors in both his junior and senior campaigns, achieving consensus All-American as a senior. Jim was named to the University of Pittsburgh's all-time team. He was also elected to the National Football Foundation College Football Hall of Fame class of 2003. As you know, he was drafted by the Chicago Bears with the